Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Let go! Third! Let the Super Kick Party!
Yeah, pay the money for that. No one. And of course, you gotta get the Coppins in. Yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody's ready for some great night of some wrestling here with the AEW Dynamite Sidecast. Welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream here. Sorry if I'm a little discombobulated, all over the place, a little bit crazy here. Normally, Wednesdays I have the day off, and then I can just relax, I'll have supper around 3 o'clock. Set up the stream around 4. Get all beautified and that ready and just get ready to fire up here. Today I worked. I got home at 4:30. Panicked 8. Tried to clean myself up and make myself look pretty a little bit here. And then we just move on here now. So it's going to be a fun night of wrestling. It's nice to get back into this here tonight after a crazy week of wrestling all the way across the board. I don't care what promotion you're a fan of. There was some good wrestling all the way around. WWE might have produced one of the best matches ever. One of the greatest storytelling matches ever in terms of a story and long-term, short-term booking, callbacks, whatnot. We had a great tag match last Saturday with FTR and Top Flight. We got the announcement of the Cope Open, which Penta's going to be answering tonight. We got Dustin Rhodes putting out a promo talking about how he feels he still has something left in the tank and he wants Samoa Joe to prove it by giving him a title shot. And Samoa Joe said, no, but I'll give you a shot against me, and if you beat me, then I'll give you a title shot later. So that's what we're getting tonight. We're getting Mariah May versus Anna Jay once again. Rematch from, I believe it was Mariah May's first match was actually against Anna Jay. So we'll see how that turns out here, as Toni Storm might be a little bit upset about what happened with the giving up of the title shot to Thunder Rosa on Dynamite last week, I do believe it was. So now it is going to be Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm at the pay-per-view coming up. Which, by the way, big announcement here. Andre C is going to be joining me for AEW Dynasty. I will get the graphic done hopefully the next day here. Tomorrow morning is basically a big graphics day for me, so I got to get a few of them done up here. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Andre's the OG here with me here at Backbreaker. And it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about everything that's going on. And Andre's a bit of a source when it comes to Okada, when it comes to Mariah May. When it comes to all things Japanese wrestling, Andre's been covering it here on the channel at least for a year already. And he's been seen on Saturday Night's Main Event, the podcast there, as well as numerous other areas, especially their channel, Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. Sorry, English might escape me tonight, so this could be a very interesting night here. But it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun week. Sorry for anybody that came in earlier this week looking for a couple streams from me here. We are actually, I had to move everything around just because, well, Monday night was the Raw after Mania, which I'll be honest, I was very disappointed in. To also the National Championship game, which, once again, I was mildly disappointed in. And Tuesday, I just got home so late from work that I didn't get a chance to get on stream here. Just try to detox, wind down, prepare myself for today. Today wasn't exactly an easy day either, but you get through it, you keep going. So, just like everybody else. And once again, I am thankful for each and every one of you being here tonight. Whether you're checking out live, whether you're checking out VOD, whether you're checking out on YouTube. It's going to be a fun night, without a doubt here. And there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out and a lot of crazy discussions coming up here. But I guess we do have to talk about the elephant in the room that's about 16 feet wide here. The Bucks announcing that they're going to reveal the all-in tape from CM Punk's... what happened with CM Punk and Jack... They haven't said specifically they're going to deal with CM Punk and Jack Perry, but... I can't see them not doing at this point. There's been a lot of fervor about why the hell are you doing this? And basically, after how good Mania was, it does make you look a little second rate. I'll be the first to admit it. But hear me out. I think there is a way that they could do this that could actually make things look right. So the Bucks come out and they're here talking about this footage, and the Bucks are supposed to be the ones presenting it, right? So they show the video, they show Punk and his actions against Jack Perry. Then they start cussing out Tony Khan about creating such a negative work environment. Such a horrible place to be. Now the Bucks have to come in and save AEW. So they're also going to try and save Jack Perry out of Japan, which sort of sets up the beginnings of Forbidden Door and some of the stuff that they can work on with Forbidden Door and just get Jack Perry over that mega heel that they want right now. But then they fast forward to some video of Punk interacting with Dax and Cash, who we know well on are good friends. Or at least were, or in terms of at the time, they were very close. Now the Bucks can turn around and say, see, these guys are interacting with this guy who's creating a toxic work environment. We have to win these tag titles next week to validate this locker room and to cleanse it of the toxicity that we have in here. To be perfectly honest, that is the only way I can see this making sense. If they just do this as a smear piece without any goal, this might be one of those third eye goldfish scenarios that they had on The Simpsons with Mr. Burns' election, where the promotion might be done before the eye hits the floor. Ugh. But yeah, I think they're going to use this to set up not only the tag match coming up at Dynasty between the Bucks and FTR, but also to start the process of getting Forbidden Door in order here by bringing Jack Perry in as one of their prized proteges that they're going to nurture to produce into a more positive aspect here. So, yeah, we're just about a minute away here. For those that are watching here in Canada, it's on TSN2. In the States, it's on TBS, of course, on TBS. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun here tonight. I think that a lot of people are panicking right now about what's gonna be released, and they think it's gonna be such a catastrophic thing. I think we all know what happened. I think we all understand what happened. And I think we all, I don't want to say temper expectations, but sort of expect what's going on here. So I can't see this being like overly ghastly here coming up, but I can also see them not doing this to open the show. I would personally think if they're going to do it, they're probably going to do it to start the second hour. Just so everybody has the opportunity to hang out and check things out as they go here. So as we get the pyro and we're underway here. And it looks like we're getting a match to start off right away because Justin's in the ring. So they're going with Dustin and Samoa Joe to start off the show, which I really don't mind. I know that people get upset when they have the world champ as their as leading off their show. I don't mind it at all. It seems like AEW has this point of front loading a lot of their shows with their talent, and then trying to have a hook segment right at the end. Well, let's just say we might not have this match after all. We want tape. We want tape. Also, hello, pre-Saturn.
But I'm better than you.
Jesus.
And you know it.
Ahoy, Mike. Let's go. You can resub now. That's... Once again, thank you very much. I truly do appreciate it. How you doing, Zodiac? I hope you're having a great day. Oh, Jesus. Joe just went through a table. I don't think he's going to be facing Dustin Rhodes tonight. So much for having our Eliminator match. You want to talk about a bait and switch? Pre-Saturn. How's everybody doing this week? So while we got a second here, because, well, Swerve's getting carried out of here, and Joe's going to be... They're going to piece Joe together from the table outside. Joe's probably going to say, I'm going to go. And Joe's just sitting here, I'm fine. You got that rat bastard out of here. We're going to go. Never mind. They're going to a replay. They didn't even get 3 minutes in, and they already got to go to a second segment. This is hilarious. It's so different too, right? Forgive me if I'm a little bit more all over the place compared to normal for guys that have been coming in. I actually had to work extra yesterday, and I had to work today when I normally don't because we're short-handed at work. The bonus was I got Mania weekend off, but the negative is I basically had an hour from when I got home to fired up the stream here tonight, so I'm a little bit all over the place sometimes here. Oh, so they're going to do it on Friday to work on this Trent Beretta thing. And there's the camera. Statlander looked like she was smiling. Well, it all depends on what Beretta said, right? So we're just going to go from one possible main event to the other right now to open our show up. I honestly think we're going to get Dustin and Joe to finish the show. Little boop there on the nose, we'll call it there. Always happy to see a little Statlander on my screen. I'll say that. That's your guess on what's said? I gotta earn you that one for that one there, Darth. So yeah, I think there's actually a method to the madness of showing this tape here this week. Everybody says it's about getting it Punk. I think it's setting up for the tag match. I think it's still the video of Punk, but it's still going to set up for the tag match. If you didn't get a chance to see it off the top of the show, give you the quick Coles notes here. I think the Bucks come out, show the video, talk about how Tony Khan is keeping such a toxic environment around here that they have to fix. So they're going to try and make it right for Jack Perry. So that sort of sets up the beginnings of Forbidden Door in June here, as Copeland just slipped on the ramp. And then they turn around and show some video of Punk talking to FTR. And talking about the association between the two means they have to win those tag titles to save their company from this toxic environment. It's the only freaking way that it'll make sense if we have it. If you ask me. If you guys have any other better ideas, feel free to throw them in the chat. We can talk about them. But by the way, anybody get a chance to watch Supercard of Honor on Friday? I know I did. I missed the first half of the TV title match. I want to go back to see it, but that match between Kingston and Briscoe, I love the promo that they did after the match. They're like, House of Black, Dynasty, we're taking on you guys. You see what I did to my brother? They both said this to each other. You see what I did to my brother? And I like the guy. I don't like you. So I have to say, I have rarely ever seen Penta in blue like this. I don't mind it, you know, baby blue is a decent color. It's one of our two colors here on the channel, so. Oh, and yeah, I got home so late I didn't get a chance to upload our 4 new emotes I bought this week. Got one of our local. Marco Studd is behind everything with the Young Bucks and the Scapegoat. Hey, you know what? I'll take that. Oh, hey, how the ref would book challenge is over. Absolutely, it is. I do have to talk to Kayla J and to Vic to make sure that, you know. Let me be perfectly frank here. The first topic we were going to do for this was how to book the Cody Rhodes story. I know I have a way that I can top what they, well, at least compare to what they did this weekend with Cody Rhodes. I want to make sure they're able to come up with something, because if they're just drawing blanks how to do it, let's not push them to do something that they can't do. I'll formalize everything next week, and we are going to start working on production on it. I'm hoping by the end of the month that we have it available for you guys. I got so many irons in the fire, I believe it's called here. So hopefully by next week we'll have new merch available for you guys, because I know you guys want to. That almost 50-minute promo to open Raw was something, yeah. Yeah. When they said they were going to have the first hour free, I didn't expect that 45 minutes of that would be a promo. I don't know if there's any other better way to put that. Like, let's face it, AEW, they took 3 minutes for their opening segment. But fundamentally, there is a big difference between AEW wrestling and WWE. I'll say that completely. When it comes to how the development of stories and matches go, a lot of it's done in the ring rather than done on the promos and the segments and the interviews and whatnot. most of it's done in the ring. So a lot of people have to adjust to that kind of storytelling where very simple details will be given to you in between the matches. But The Rock is hip and rad. Kids still say that, right?
Uh-oh.
I'll give you one of those, and let's see here. Aww. That's cute. I don't think people understand. I don't think Rock really understood how much nobody really cared about having him there. The casuals came in. Don't get me wrong, and I am a little upset with the fact that they're every time that the Fed managed to mention a number about attendance, whether it's 1 day, 2 day, the night of Raw, whatever. Raw, for some reason, went from a 17,000 person set out to a 20 to a 22, all in the matter of 3 hours. I had it on the background while I was actually, I was trying out the demo of Stellar Blade on Monday. Because I wanted to see if I get, because I do like to pre-order my games if I can, just for the fact that you get the pre-order bonuses. If there's an inkling I'm going to play a game, then I'm going to try and get the pre-order on it. And to answer your question, yes, I did. So, Stellar Blade might actually be the game that we play after Legend of Zelda on Mondays. I will say the game was fun. I'm not a big fan of the Souls-like games where, you know, you get very little health, but you got to go a certain way, and then they give you a chance to refill everything for your health and that. However, I did get hooked a little bit on the Bayonetta games, so it's sort of the same way, and they do have what's called a story mode in there, where there's less worry about combat, more about game. And I will say this, Zodiac, and to anybody who's watching here, there was something that confused me in the settings before I started, and I didn't fix it until I was almost done. They actually have a setting in the game whether you want a long ponytail or a short ponytail. I had no idea what advantage or disadvantage that would be. And then all of a sudden, about an hour in, my 12-year-old brain kicked in and like, oh, that's why. And I'll be, when it comes to it, once you start, guys and girls, were you watching on the screen there? I saw the little glyph there, but it's really obvious. It says it's time for a change. Now, is AEW just going to go straight out and mock everything that WWE does at this point? Either that or it makes Uncle Howdy come out a lot sooner. McGear, show the tape, show the tape, show the tape. Yeah, I don't. They're probably going to leave it right to the end. I thought it was going to be the start of the second hour, but I think it might be all the way to the end here. And my first thought was, oh, it hard enough. That's where my brain went too. God, do I love that music. Love it or hate it, WWE is on fire. Copying them wouldn't be the worst. Yeah, as long as you can get away with it. By the way, good to see you here, McGee, as well. I concur, Zodiac, completely. So yeah, Monday night, like I said, I was checking out Stellar Blade. Tuesday, I ended up after work, I stopped by my preferred GameStop and picked up, or I ordered the pre-order for Stellar Blade. So always good to get bonuses whenever you can, right? And then last night, I actually was working on some Players Club merch. So like I mentioned, I am opening up a new merch store because the one that I have right now does nothing new in it. I'm hoping if everything works together and I can get everything put together tomorrow morning before stream, I might be able to release it next week. I got a fourth wall page open already. It's just I only got one shirt in there. It's an old design, so I wanted to set something up for the Players Club for you guys because you've always been there to support me, and I just want something that symbolizes you, not just me, right? Oh, now we have a countdown to when the video is going to be shown. So, in other words, after this match. So, in other words, everybody stick around. You can watch after this match. They'll show everything. Or are they going to be complete pricks and finish the countdown, come on and say, join us for the main event, and we will talk all about it. Still believe it's nothing? Yeah, I've already explained it twice what I think it's going to be. So I do have witnesses to explain it for exactly what I think it's going to be. And if I'm right, everybody can feel free to shower me with praise and all that great stuff. Because, yeah, there's got to be some way they're going to make this storytelling make sense. If they're just going to do it just to be petty, then if it ends up being a nothing burger and just showing it off, that might be one of the final jump the shark moments for AEW. And I'm an AEW supporter. I'll be the first one to admit it. I love all wrestling. The reason I prefer doing these instead of doing a WWE watch along, they have so much filler that I have to do so much filler. When you got wrestling like this, that it pretty much is just bang, 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 bang. It's a lot easier to cover and it's a lot easier to talk about because there's always something going on in the ring. Now commercial number 2. Here we go. So if you're wondering why this match is going so long, we actually were supposed to get Dustin Rhodes versus Samoa Joe to start the show off. But we had Mr. Swerve Strickland decide to say, nope, you are not doing anything unless I'm involved. It basically beat the hell out of Joe and put him through a table. So I don't know if we're going to get Joe versus Rhodes in the main event or if they're going to change something around, because I sure as hell hope that Chris Jericho's 6-man is not the main event tonight. Because if you look at the rest of the matches that they have planned tonight, like they got Hook, Jericho, and Shibata versus X Team on the side. Hey, KJ, how you doing? Hope you're doing well here today. Got some great news on some great stuff. And yeah, like I said, I will be AEW's strength, it's high production indie wrestling. AEW's weakness, it's high production indie wrestling. You can just throw it all there in a nice little ball here, but I am going to have to find that Hey Kayla sound clip from the Iconics and add that in here. So I'll find it. We'll get it in here somehow. But yeah, Kayla, I got to get a hold of you here. I'll probably try and reach you tomorrow. I just got in too late from work here. We got to talk about this, how the ref would book challenge. Because they actually met the goal here. Literally, I think it was Saturday night we got it. So, technically, we got it done before WrestleMania. So, we have to figure out how to book it, right? Yes, it was. Absolutely, yeah. It was you and DBS Pokemon TGC that did it. By the way, Crowder's changed his name now on Twitch. He is now forever known as Pokemon TGC until 57 days from now. Then he's going to be TCG, or trading card game for short. I hate that Twitch gives you a 60-day mandatory. Cannot. Once you change your name, you have to keep it there for 60 days no matter what, even if it is a typo. So you'll probably see it when he pops in here later tonight. So, but once again, everybody, just thank you for stopping in. Truly do appreciate it here. We got an absolutely packed house here. We got a packed house there in West Virginia. Copeland always looks like he's defenseless everywhere, so. Oh, by the way, and just to add to extra bonuses, I think I've officially become a Twitch streamer. As I currently have gotten my first weeb mug, I believe is what they call it. Waifu mug, that's it. And if you're wondering which one this is from GamerSups, it's the Aura one from the browser. So, no, it's not G Fuel. It's GamerSups right now. So, I haven't gone to the G Fuel level yet because I don't do much for first-person shooters. You're not official until you do a hot tub stream? I love how Twitch has changed their meta now. So, now I'm wondering. The fact that my gut is bigger than my chest, do you think because the bigger focus would be on my gut that they wouldn't worry about my chest kind of thing? That I don't think I'd ever apply to having that problem? Mike needs to have AEW on his Ash stream. My Ash stream? Zodiac, what are you trying to say about my stream quality here? What's going on with this footage thing? I have already gone through it twice tonight, so I don't want to repeat over and over again, but I do think it's actually going to set up towards the tag title match that they have just coming up in over a week here. So, where they have it AEW Dynasty here. But if I'm right, I'm definitely redirecting you guys back to the footage so you can check it. I've also posted it on Facebook. Oh, and I made a decision after the first match got announced for Battle of the Belts coming up on Saturday. It's going to be footage FTR shaving their backs again. Wouldn't surprise me. We are not going to be doing Battle of the Belts unless it just does a straight carryover in terms of like if a match carries over into extra time. Because we're going to be doing week 13 of WWE 2K24 GM mode on Saturday. Once they put it as a Rocky Romero, Roderick Strong contenders match, it's supposed to be Battle of the Belts, not Battle of the Chances. And the way they have to make it a contenders match is because Rocky Romero's probably going to win that. But yeah, so after Collision on Saturday, we will fire up week 13, which based on what I have available right now, is probably going to have Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I got to turn Ripley face by next Wednesday, so I do think it's funny how other wrestlers are making fun of it. So if we get anything out of it, a few laughs. I think there's a lot to do with the credibility of AEW here, unless they really go overboard on the cardiness of it. Like, if it ends up being like a cartoon video, I'm all for it. I'm laughing my ass off for a week and thinking about how stupid it is. So you won't be watching the Saturday Sidecast. You'll be in Ottawa visiting Captain Ed for his birthday. I'll give you the word for that. Always great to see good company here. Hey, Mr. Callahan, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well, and really, really happy to see that you're enjoying wrestling here. Oh, geez. Oh, no, Alex is dead. Alex is dead. And Penta's just walking away. Yeah, I'm cool. I don't really care. He'll deal with it. Alex ain't getting back up today. One thing I will say about this weekend brought a lot of people back into the wrestling scene, and I'm very happy to have it. Because a lot of people really started to enjoy what was going on here during the Mania festivities, during the Ring of Honor festivities, hell, the GCW stuff. Oh yeah, like McGee's talking about the chat that we had in the Remember the Game Discord. On the Saturday, I was actually I was in that Discord, but I was also checking out the GPTV, the Girls Play TV Twitch stream. It's a bunch of it's a group of 6 streamers that do various games and whatnot. One of them was a big wrestling fan, so they decided to do a sidecast of Mania with 2 people that hadn't watched, and just watching the entire chat enjoy it so much. Oh, there we go. Flying Spear, we're done. Damn. Between the Remember the Game Discord and that Twitch chat that I was watching, so many people turning back on to wrestling again. Just because it's accessible now more than ever. It's fun more than ever. Some of the storylines don't make absolute any sense. Which the How the Ref Would Book Challenge is going to expose that in many ways here. This whole Rumble to Mania, but also other promotions are up to right back in. Yeah, like, there's been so many good things going on. Wrestling's better with friends, absolutely, and I'm thankful to have each and every one of you here. I know that I've had to kick out a few doo-doo heads here, and I know Zodiac was here previously for one of them. So we saw that glyph before the match. Is this oh, this gotta be the House of Black. This has gotta be the House of Black because yep, there's Julia. And a personal bodyguard. God, Brody King, to me, just the absolute ultimate. Like, you want to talk about somebody that really deserves a good push? He is an absolute monster. He plays one. He acts like one. Eric Redbeard is just perfect for that. Have not watched wrestling in probably 10 years. Saw Mania on Peacock and now you hooked. Yeah, like, AEW is a different brand that you got to check out. Because I will say with AEW, the brand is a lot more faster paced. So, like, I think over the next half hour, you're probably going to see the most promos that you've seen at AEW in a while. Because they're setting up for their pay-per-view on April 21st. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about AEW is the fact they actually do have real old-fashioned pay-per-views where you got to pay the $40 to watch it, unless you find other means, which I have no idea about because I pay for it. Being a content creator, I am a little bit more direct about stuff like that because, well, I don't want people illegally streaming my stuff. Pay for the pay-per-view to support them. Exactly, that's what I do. I hate that I have to support TSN to watch these guys on Saturdays, but just like you pay, you're not supposed to tell people about that. They cheat. Ah! But thank you for the support. Yes, my OnlyFans is my dancing. Yes, that is Mr. Chris Jericho. He is the original AEW champion. He was the first ever AEW heavyweight champion. Now he's teaming up with Hook, who's on your left, who is Taz's son from ECW. And the guy on the right is Shibata, who is from Japan. And his gimmick is that he uses Google Translate to talk to everyone. Oh, it's Shane Taylor Promotions. That's right. Because that's what happened. Anthony Ogogo getting his first match back on TV in a very long time. Shibata as translator is so good. Like we were talking about on Saturday, the last time Anthony Ogogo was in the ring, and we'll talk about it right away. Someone boxing because my halls are so damn good? I don't know if I have that many halls here. I am working on the new merch that's coming out here, hopefully next week. Always find the cool. Hey, you know what? See, that video we've already seen, so this doesn't count. Yeah, I gotta feel, the more that they show that, the more I think they're hook and baiting us here. All right, so they're gonna get a full commercial in before we start here, but in terms of hauls here, I didn't realize that Snow Day was on sale for the new South Park game. So for some reason it's been added to my Xbox collection here from yesterday. So I did pre-order Stellar Blade and I did pick up Snow Day. So I don't know, I might get to it eventually. Whenever I find a good sale, I try to pick up stuff if I can. But the backlog is just the thing that sucks is what's the sale price for Snow? It actually just came in at like $30 Canadian, so it looked like it was a regular price. It wasn't on sale, so I'm guessing it'll eventually go on sale for like 20, but I don't know. I just saw a game that, probably is going to go up in price after they figure out what kind of mistake it was. I know it's been received mixed reviews because it is a different kind of, it's a different kind of South Park game compared to what happened with the other two. Because the other two, whether you're listening to the Retro Hangover podcast, which I highly recommend, or Remember the Game, which I highly recommend as well, both those podcasts talked about the South Park games as basically being an episode for the show. And then from there, you move on to dealing with all the extra parts on it. So, but yeah, they basically feel like they're actually going to be like episodes just put into game form. This one here, now that it's in 3D, it might be a little bit different. Thanks for what? Telling the truth? Jeez. Stuff that I've listened to and stuff that I support, I will definitely put over 3,000%. Just like, for example, in the work truck today, since I had to work an extra day. Sorry, after today, I need to get this out for that thought about working. Anyway, enough of that. Got a chance to catch up on some of the podcast listening that I been getting into. There's one from one of my favorite fighting game streamers, Maximilian Dude. It's called Triple KO. Not the most current episode, but one back I caught up on. They were talking about wrestling games versus fighting games and how you determine between the two. And their special guest on the episode was one Kenny Omega. So Kenny was talking about how some games were more fighting games, some games are more wrestling games. I love how Eddie's just so indignant on this. Simultaneously. I got paid to be at the shooting range Monday to Wednesdays. Nice. Shut up! Rated Chicken Hawks? So both of them had the idea, both of them spit it out. Stokely's amazing. Sell the team, I agree. They never do mixed tags. I look at Shivani's face and he's like, I don't know if we really need to hear this. Do we really need to? Has a stupid... No, it hasn't yet. We're in the middle of it, so turn on your TV. By the way, hi, good to see you, Ed. Told you guys. AEW is owned by the Jag's son. Jag's older son, Toni. Shad Khan owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and his son Toni, who is the VP of Analytics for the Jags, he is the owner of AEW. You can't say rumors on a public forum like this. Bring it, bring it, bring it. So now we're going to see the footage of, there's Punk trying to talk to Perry. And there's Joe getting ready for his match. There it is. Let's face it, there isn't a whole lot here. But with the context of everything that happened, even Chris is looking there like Chris Hero's just, oh God, why do we deal with this Wait for it. All right, they're taking a different angle, but there's I was pretty close. They talked about Jack Perry. But they're turning it into a just... So, I'm sorry, McGee, but I'm not going to say that... I'm not going to say I got 100% right, but I think I'm a lot damn closer than most people these days. God, it was perfect. They used the video to promote the match. And now we're going to get another response. A response to a response. I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you? Shout out to the shirt. It did show Punk dive at TK. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah. Ha! Rod Todd! Gotta love the Simpsons shirt, the Rod Todd reference. This has got to be Adam's new favorite tag team now. Thank you.
So that's our bosses. That's who we work for. Every interview they have, or every time they get a chance to talk, they let us all know that without them, hundreds of people will be out of a job. They let us all know that without them, AEW probably wouldn't.
Cash, go back. Who knows? The trial's on the 26th of June. Yes, I do remember that date for some stupid reason. He's shooting for a positive outcome, I guess. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Everybody can see this now. Well, you know what? I'll wait till the promo's done. Then we can discuss exactly what was going on here. But all right, I love this. I absolutely love this. I love how they turned a bad situation into good, personally. That guy looks a little like Charles. Absolutely. Like, FTR here, they used to be in the WWE, where the shave your back comment was. That was a segment that Vince McMahon had these two do in WWE, where they were shaving, Dax was shaving Cash's back in the shower. And they got caught on camera. And these two basically wrestle as a throwback to Tully and Arn. Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, the Brave Busters. Now, I will say, this is probably the most promo time you're going to see in the middle of a show. But let's break this down really quick here. I'm going to say this is probably the best way to turn a bad situation into good here. They used the footage, and my original thought was they were going to use this as they were going to beat the Bucks to, or sorry, they had to beat FTR for the Bucks to say that they definitely, there's no distractions this time. We have to win this match because we're going to lose focus. Yeah, exactly. I thought they were going to use it as a face to save AEW. I like this angle better, to be honest. It's a little more classic-y. It's a little bit more... And one thing that Sean Ross Sapp here, and I absolutely do agree with it right now. He basically said that... sorry, I'll get to you one sec here, Crowder. By the way, good to see you here tonight. The situation here, basically, they're saying is they're not going to have any excuses this time, which actually works out perfectly. They're setting up Jack Perry to be the scapegoat. They brought him up. And in terms of it being only a 1-minute clip and the thing about Hawani, here's the thing that Punk didn't mention, or he tried to insinuate, that they want it cleared up immediately. Punk tried to say that Perry started it, basically. That's where it came from. He said that he turned to TK and said, either you're going to fix this or I will. And he admitted that he wanted to try to... He made it insinuate that Perry did the first move and then Punk went at him. This is showing that Punk just literally, as soon as Perry wanted to walk away, Punk decided to shove him. They were showing why Punk got fired. That's what this basically does. If I'm a boss and there's repeated incidences with this one guy who tries to turn everything into his own show, and then you have video footage of this happening, whether all the other stuff is 100% true, 50% to 25% true, you got to get rid of them for the sake of the environment. That's where I was talking about earlier about the toxic work environment. And I love the Sean Ross Sapp, just as he got a bit of the footage before everything came out. Sean Ross Sapp turned around and said, I can't wait for the people that said, oh, these guys would never handle in the Attitude Era. Or these guys, this was nothing. I'm sorry, but this is 2024 and things are different. You're trying to create a good thing and somebody's getting involved? If you're trying to tell me that isn't enough to get somebody fired these days, I'm sorry. People have been fired for a lot less. The one thing I do hope happens out of this is the fact that everything shows up. There's a couple days of whatever, and then it's gone. I love the ad breaks. I normally don't wait for stuff. Good old Ospreay coming out here. I'm just waiting for the ad break. I'll get my last point and then we can get it onto this Ospreay interview. All right. So what I was saying is I can't wait for the next couple days. Let this all settle out. And it's going to turn into the focus on the tag team match. So I want to see what Ospreay has to say about this. That to me is a little much. And Renee's just standing there, just straight.
One more for the good guys.
Oliver, thank you for joining the Players Pit. Yeah, Ospreay's never held his tongue too, but that, I gotta get into this tonight. I know we got a whole lot of questions to go through. We'll definitely get through them here. Oliver, welcome. Good to see you here. Oliver, MUFC Street. Thank you once again for coming by here. I appreciate it. Wow. Can you tell he's fired up? All right, so we got a little bit of stuff to digest out of this, and I really do hope we get a commercial out of it. So, Mr. Callahan, just to clear things up, we never have promo time like this. And McGee, I think you summed up the best point right now for all of us. And now we got a Julie. We never get promo time like this in between matches. Like, you guys are also in here. We never get this much time. But yes, I think Triple H committed a bit of a mistake on his part. It might be an intentional mistake, who knows? But either way, yeah, I think he definitely lit a fire under a lot of people here. Long story short, in a press conference, Triple H came out and mentioned that he ended up losing Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, and Will Ospreay to AEW. Now, he said it was because those wrestlers don't enjoy. If they're not here to deal with the grind of real wrestling, we don't want them here. So Will Ospreay flies into America every week, or flies in on location every week from London, right? So if you're going to have that level of commitment, let's go. That's all I can say. So anyway, let me back this up. Let's face it, we got a Chris Jericho match. We got plenty of time to chat. Will Ospreay calling out WWE? I think right now there is a level of, you're going to call me out, I need to say something back instead of just taking it. And like we said in the chat here, Ospreay has never been a guy to stay mum about this stuff. Do you think Punk was in talks before All In and needed to be fired quick? I think he wanted to go. I think he wanted to go, but I don't think he was in talks with WWE. Because I don't think he's that crazy. He does admit that his best friend's Paul Heyman. They admitted that during the Hall of Fame speech. But they did also say that, you know, Nick Khan is also good buddies with Punk as well. So I think the CM Punk fella should be fine. Like, I'm reading this right now on the internet, and some of the people I consider like real good friends here are just literally talking about how, oh, that was nothing and whatnot. You got to realize that is the 2-year piling up of issues. Like, for people that don't know, there is what's called Brawl Out that happened a year before. Basically where the EVPs and Punk got into a physical confrontation to the point where Punk and the Bucks and Kenny Omega were all stripped of their titles that they won that night at one of the biggest shows in the company's history. In All In 2022. A lot of people just plain don't forget about it. And what else here? AEW drives a tank, a topless Jeep with a small cannon that hasn't been used since the 60s probably. To WWE. You know what? In a way, I feel that a night like tonight and what's been happening in this response that we're getting tonight was rather important for the fact that these guys just tired of it being called a tank. That's true. I get it. It was a Jeep. But yeah, oh, by the way, shout out to Rachel Elring here. Her tweet is just absolutely golden. Can't stress this enough. Chris Hero is a wonderful man and wore the hell out of the magenta polo. That's all. Thank you. I just got to retweet that out because that is absolutely amazing. Because he was the guy breaking up the video, right? When watching the video, Perry wasn't aggressive at all. Absolutely. Like, it's simple. Punk tried to make it look like Perry was trying to get aggressive with him and he shoved back, and there was none of that. Punk was just looking to start a fight. That's what we're trying to get at here. You can take whatever interpretation you want, but there's the video evidence right there, exactly what happened. Does it look like nothing? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I think it means a lot? Yeah. And Jake, to answer your question there about Jericho, the Lionheart gimmick is what he had. Let me just get that in there. Lionheart was his original gimmick in Mexico when he was with AAA prior to going to Japan. It was also in New Japan as well. He used it prior to going to WCW. Actually, in ECW he had it as well. Used it a little bit in WCW, but not too much. And then it basically came to Y2J when they changed his gimmick when they moved to WWE. So Lionheart is actually his gimmick down in Mexico, whatnot. So yeah, basically Punk sucker punched him and he couldn't drop the scapegoat. Yeah, that's true. Like, he gave a shot and a shove. Feel so confused? There's a lot of things you can think about what's going on here, and yeah, I know being confused and whatnot is normal. Which part are you confused about? Question for me is, while fans may not care about the Punk video, how does the locker room react, especially since it got... That's exactly it. I think this is why it was done. It's like... But here's the other thing, what a lot of people... And I know WWE supporters are not going to change on this. When you have a situation like this where it shows up, people keep asking, why did you have to fire him? after All In and the Brawl Out night, wouldn't you be like on your last straw kind of thing? And then Punk just, on the biggest show of the year, when everybody's just trying to focus on having the greatest show in AEW history, and he's pulled this crap. Like, whatever stories he has is fine, but you know what? At the end, I'm sorry, don't screw with the show. No one has to worry about being knocked out by Punk if they fight. I'll give you that one there. But yeah, like, it is tough right now to, reminds me what Stephanie McMahon said, if you keep the chant up more than 3 minutes, you'll last longer than he did. She was talking about UFC. No, I know exactly, because who was the one that used it last night? Yeah, by the way, I will give you one of those just because I'm a little off track now. I'll get back on track here, but no, it was Paul Heyman during the Hall of Fame speech. That was absolutely amazing. Yep. Well, here's the thing also, Jake. Number one, Hook knows how to sell a lot. Number two, the last time that Anthony Ogogo was in a wrestling ring for a match, literally, Cody Rhodes had just got his neck tattoo. He might have had a Dynamite or a dark match just after that, but literally, the last time that Anthony Ogogo, who is an Olympic boxer out of England, an Olympic gold medalist, the last match he had was against Cody Rhodes on TV. That should say enough to you about how long he's been out. The guy in the black tank, actually, his name is Shane Taylor. He comes from Ring of Honor. An absolute powerhouse of a man. A very, very prevalent in the six-man, the trios division in ROH prior to ROH being sold to Tony Khan. Basically, there's pre-Tony Khan and post-Tony Khan ROH, Ring of Honor. As of, I think it was pretty close to this time last year. Yeah, it was just before Mania when he took over, but, or was it 2 years ago? Chat, you'll have to help me out with that one, but Ring of Honor was owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, and it basically was going belly up, and Tony Khan bought it. The main reason why is the very first show of AEW, the All In show hosted by the Bucks and Cody Rhodes. Jesus! Gotta love that. Gotta love that suplex. And Jericho not even getting in the ring here. Jericho using the distraction spot. And I see this coming a mile and a half away here. Jericho turns heel again. Or just gives the pin here right at the last moment. His forearms are bigger than Hook? Absolutely. Like, I think that's one of the big things that Hook's been talking about. He's, like, Taz was never the biggest guy in the world. But he's also, Taz was also built like a brick shithouse and also has the technical ability of one of the smartest people in wrestling. And having him as your father is actually a very good sign there. But just all the knowledge you get to soak up at that point. But I think, Zodiac, going back to your point from way earlier here, I think there's two different locker rooms that you have to look at it from. The AEW locker room, I think a lot of people are sort of like what FTR were, like they just want to move on with all this. People in the WWE locker room, they hear stories about stuff, but now that they actually see it, maybe that does put some extra tension in that locker room. Well, Jericho's going heel. Well, Shibata's losing now. And that's how they lose. And this is how Jericho becomes a heel next month in Winnipeg. I love this. Well, this is how we're going to get this rivalry form and fine, but yeah, Shibata is a hell. Katsuyori Shibata, he was off for the better part of, I think it was 2.5, 3 years, where he actually broke his neck in a very freak match in Japan. He's from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh. I like this. I like the... Dustin's going to get absolutely wrecked tonight. And now we got Okada versus already in the ring, as we call it, so... But I think we're only an hour 15 in, and we've already had pretty memorable night here tonight. I'll be perfectly honest. I think. Do you wish Dustin was there on weeknight 2 of Mania? I think there should have been a couple people there. But once again, I don't want to spoil my How the Ref Would Book challenge. Damn it, wrong one. There we go. I don't want to spoil too much here to get you guys too excited here. So he looks so much like Dusty. Yeah, he does. Both kids do. Like, you got to remember how much younger Cody is, right? Like once Cody gets a little bit older and a little bit grayer in the tooth, he's gonna look a lot like Dustin, to be honest. I want to find it interesting what kind of response you get there in the Discord of everything that happened tonight, McG, to be honest with you. Because there's a lot of different thoughts, and you're gonna see where everybody's wrestling opinion lies at this point when you see responses to this. And once again, we're getting back-to-back nothing matches here. Kazuchika Okada, if you're wondering, this is another one of those big three that, you know how Will Ospreay was talking about Triple H in that promo earlier, Jake? Okada was another wrestler that was included in that mix. He is a former New Japan Pro Wrestling champion. Probably one of the best wrestlers in the world for at least a 2 or 3 year span. Not much chat in Discord, but damn, Punk supporters are ignoring what he said in the MMA hour and ignoring what happened on the video. Yeah. I'm watching the Discord. I'm watching the discourse on the onlines right now, and yeah, it's almost to the point where you really can't say anything right now other than everybody can shoot out whatever they want. A man of very few words. Yeah, that was an enhancement match, so when you see a wrestler already in the ring, you're typically going to have that match go very quickly. Because typically when they're in the ring already, I'd say a good 4/5 of the time, they're not a side talent. They're there to put the other person over. Now, Pac here, he used to be Adrian Neville, then Neville in WWE. Oh, and here come the EVPs to beat up Pac. And FTR is going to come out and make the save. Both Japanese guys seem pretty... Yeah, like... In terms of supporters, we're pretty sure that... We're pretty sure Triple H is a little pissed that he lost lost this Japanese guy as well as Shibata. Like, if you watch people like Shibata, the action they do, that's pretty much Dynamite hour to hour. This week has been a little bit off. Oh, boy. I love how Cash has literally slipped as he's trying to get out there. Okada with a chair. Smart man. They are really setting up for this pay-per-view well, I think. Like, what do you guys think? Is the pay-per-view being set up really well between the matches that we got here? We got the 6-man tag with the House of Black and Team Rated Chicken Hawk. We got FTR and the Bucks that we see in the ring here. We got Okada and Pac. I could see a 6-man tag coming next week. Oh, and AEW allows chair shots higher than the back. But yeah, it's not hard to pick up on the stories here at AEW. Like, chat, you can help me out with this one. I think you can agree that these matches here, when it comes to AEW, the storylines aren't that hard to pick up as we get into it. There are some very long-term stories that they do, but in terms of the short-term stuff, it usually goes pretty quick, pretty easy. Quick reference for you, Jake, as well. Jay White in the middle from New Japan Pro Wrestling. On the outside, you got Colton and Austin Gunn left and right. They are the sons of Badass Billy Gunn. It's not like a chair to the head to get your message across. And yes, and Jay White's amazing. Don't forget that as well. Also got the Charleston Championship Champagne Toast to Thunder Rosa. So basically, congratulations, you get to face me on Sunday. So, yeah, like all in all, this has been absolutely, like, that little half-hour section that we had there between Will Ospreay and the Bucks there, it seemed like we had to keep up with it stuff, right? So a lot of the online commentary has moved to, we don't know what was said, the Punk's a bit, yeah, like, I got a feeling there's going to be this Punk thing that's going to settle everything down, and then all of a sudden we're going to get a lot of this Will Ospreay coming back up again. I really wonder if Triple H will let it go. In many ways, I hope he doesn't. Just because, you know, content, but in many ways, you know, I feel that he probably will. They'll just move on to their next show, and like I said, when it comes to the wrestling in both programs, wrestling is in a better place than most people right now. What are the WWE shareholders going to tell Triple H and Punk to do? Here's something that we were talking about. I know that we were talking about, I'm pretty sure we're talking about it in the Discord on Sunday. Is there a way that Punk was told when you go on commentary, make sure you wise up a little bit and just slow down and smarten up and don't do anything stupid, I think is the best way to explain it. Because I got a feeling that's what ended up happening there. 100%. He was on his best behavior on Sunday. Yeah, like, in a suit and tie. He said a lot of stupid stuff during the pre-show. I will say that. When he was with Cole there, and, oh, trust me, Cole has turned into... When he calls a match, he calls it great. And I do appreciate that. Just every once in a while, he'll throw a shot. And I don't mind. I really don't mind. If you're going to try and say your product's the best. Okay, so now that we have a couple seconds here, we're going to get this Charleston champagne toast here in a moment. Punk signed in 2021, I believe it's 2021, back when we actually had fans back in the buildings with AEW. It was one of the biggest things in the world. Yet there always used to be issues. Jake, I will get back to the whole Punk story for you, but you got to watch this. Toni Storm is something to absorb. Because Toni Storm has probably turned into one of the best things that AEW has produced in a while. I'm going to stick with what I sort of said earlier. This is TK playing psychological warfare against the WWE locker room. He just showed he will throw you under the bus if there's any conflict with him, and he'll shift the focus on how management will support. Okay, Punk will play psychological warfare against the W. I totally agree with you there. Well, that was easy enough. So Toni Storm is went to. She's actually started a movie about a biography about Mildred Burke, the old-fashioned wrestler, like from the 30s or whatever, the 1930s. But she sort of kept the gimmick of what Mildred Burke was, and just she's completely got off the deep end. Those fishnet hose? Yeah, exactly. So now we just move right into the women's match. And Mariah gets a kiss from Toni, and now she's ready for war! Ready for war! Now, Mariah May is from the Stardom promotion in Japan. It was signed here just a couple months ago. I promise you I will get back to the Cole's notes about the Punk story, but Zodiac, I completely agree with you that, you know, after Punk went on the Ariel Helwani and made his comments about how things ended and decided to forget certain details, Punk just turned around and said, screw you, this is what you're walking into, have fun. That's basically what that part of that interview was. Now, the Bucks turned it into a very good storyline out of this. Out of, we're not going to have those distractions anymore. Sorry, just checking out some notes there, but yeah, you'll really enjoy this. Anna Jay is actually an AEW original. She actually grew up basically during the pandemic portion of AEW, where they had to host their shows in basically a warehouse for the better part of a year and a half. But yeah, quick notes on Punk here. No matter who wins this match, we all win. You know what? Both of them are great wrestlers. Like, Anna Jay has turned into basically, I think the best way to explain it is she's the X-Pac of the women's division. Like, if you want to give anybody a solid match going forward, you give them Anna Jay, and whether she wins or loses, she always produces a good match. And it also helps, it also helps with the PR when Anna Jay's catchphrase right now is a big attitude with a big ass. Yeah. If you want to check out a match, Jacob, with these guys, Ty Conti, who was formerly at NXT, joined up with Anna Jay to take on Penelope Cruz and the Bunny in a street fight. It was on New Year's Eve. It was one of the bloodiest, craziest street fights you'll ever see. And Anna Jay is dating Jack Perry. That's for Jack. It's like I've said, two of the luckiest wrestlers going right now, Jack Perry and Ludwig Kaiser. AKA Mr. Anna Jay and Mr. Tiffany Stratton. But as we hit the picture, now I can get the Punk thing out really quick. So many abs, absolutely. Yeah, that's yeah. So basically, the Punk story got signed in 2021, debuted, had issues, basically but his popularity was so great they created a show for him, which is now AEW Collision on Saturdays. He had his own set of people that he would work with. Ended up creating Attitude one night after the All In pay-per-view in 2022. He won the title. Started having issues prior to that with Hangman Page, talking about workers' rights and that. Seemed to go off script compared to what they discussed. And I'm with you, Zodiac. Sorry to derail that, but hi to you, Frosty. If you good to see you as well. Had some issues with Adam Page in regards to talking about workers' rights, and Punk not like the discussion that they had after the All In pay-per-view in 2022 when Punk won the AEW Championship from Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He went off on a tirade about how the EVPs are a bunch of idiots, a whole bunch of tirade stuff. You actually have to watch it to understand it all. The Bucks didn't like it. Barged into his locker room. We have not seen the footage from that. And the subsequent result was Punk had an injured shoulder going into that after the title match with Moxley. He was out 7 months. The Bucks and Kenny Omega, who were involved in the incident, got suspended, along with anybody else that was backstage as part of it. Once Punk came back, we fast forward he came back, seemed to be decent time. Perry ended up requesting to do a spot with some glass because he was taking some time off, so he wanted to make himself injured to get out. Punk turned to him and said it wasn't a good idea. Fast forward to the pay-per-view All In. It was Jack Perry versus Hook, who we saw earlier tonight with Chris Jericho and Shibata. In an FTW, short for Fuck the World, title match anywhere in the building. So Jack Perry had a car outside the arena, or at the front of the arena entrance. Suplex Hook into said glass window. Marched over to the camera and said, "That's real glass, deal with it." And proceeded to lead to right after that, when he went to the back, led to that video that you saw. When Punk turned around and said that he didn't like the glass the first time, basically Perry said, "I didn't ask for your opinion," more than just basically summarizing it there. He didn't ask for his opinion. And Punk was a little upset that more of the rookies weren't asking for his opinion on stuff. This is absolutely a great match between these two. Like, even watching during picture-in-picture, these two are going back and forth, even it up. Hey, no problem, Jay. Like, if you need help with storylines, like, we're going to be here for the pay-per-view on the 21st, and as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Backbreaker Original Andre C with me. And he's got a lot of information about everybody who was in New Japan and Stardom. He'll have a lot more to talk about them than I will on the show. Well, there's some news that's breaking right now. Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, is going to be debuting. Her first match is 2 months away. Or a month and a half away. Like, holy crap, are they going to milk this for all they got? Ah, the former Evan Bourne, okay. But yeah, we're here definitely for anybody that's new and doesn't know all the storylines and everything going on. I have no problem bringing that up because I know one of the biggest complaints about AEW is they don't have any stories. Well, they got lots of stories. You just need to you just need to be able to be here to analyze them. That's all. The sooner they get her in the ring, better. Yeah, I agree. And the fact that she isn't in there and she isn't going to be there until the pay-per-view. There's only one thing that I could say that might... You just need to pay attention. Yeah, like that's the other part about it. That was a hell of a roll-up, just out of nowhere. Oh. It's like that South Park episode about wrestling, yeah. Hey, you notice Tony's not coming out to help her? Mina Shirakawa's coming back out here? So, Mina Shirakawa, former tag partner, former stablemate of Mariah May in Stardom. Yeah, the one thing you're going to see here, and you can pretty much copy and paste that statement throughout the entire show. It's a good match. It always is a good match. I guess in the startup promotion, this sort of was like spinach to Popeye. And you get a little late. I guess Mariah is powered by smooching. Nothing like having a good drink to start out, right? I would wonder if they would find some... They should get Jericho's little bit of the bubbly as part of the sponsorship.
Thank you for taking the time. I wanted to ask you about last week when you said that you wanted to face whoever is TBS champion at Double or Nothing.
Ooh, Double or Nothing. 5 years ago at Double or Nothing, history was made. AEW had its first ever pay-per-view there. You know, I'm a history maker. I'm a game.
This segment's made Phil thinks, well, Mariah May actually does swing both ways. So she is an open bisexual. She has admitted that, so...
Now, before we get to Double or Nothing, we do have AEW Dynasty coming up on Sunday, April 21st. And that is where Julia Hart is going to be defending her TBS championship against Willow Nightengale. How do you handicap that match?
Kiss brought her back to life, yeah.
I can't wait to see both those girls throw it down because they are the very best. And Julia has been one hell of a champion.
I really do feel that Willow's going to end up taking the title.
Her games that she's going to play. And I know she's
Little backstory on this one. Willow actually, Mercedes' first match in the U.S. for New Japan. It was for second match, I guess, for the New Japan Strong, which is New Japan's American brand women's championship. Mercedes wrecked her ankle, and it forced a change in the match where Willow got the victory.
not only did I get injured in that match, I lost that chance to be the first ever woman to hold that championship.
As she's saying right now.
Anything about me, I hate to lose. But being the CEO of AEW now, I always have a plan and I'm on a mission. And I can't wait for double or nothing.
So who would you rather face, Julia or Willow?
And here comes Julia to beat her up. So the lights go out, nobody's there. Could it be Willow? Could it be Julia? But we are coming up to our main event here right away between Samoa Joe and Dustin Rhodes, which was supposed to open the show. But as we're heading to our main event here, our last commercial break, I do want to, as tradition, I let you guys know what's going on here for the week because, well, frankly, I got a whole bunch of changes going on here. Just a reminder, tonight, after AEW Dynamite, we're going to go to about a 5-minute break. I'm going to change things over here, and we are going to get into WWE 2K24 GM mode. We're on week 12, where I just picked up Becky Lynch, but I had no money. And Rhea Ripley is just asked to be changed over to a face, which we're going to have to do in the next 3 weeks here. So hopefully I could get Ripley in shape enough that we could do Ripley Becky, who I just acquired, next week, which will be on Saturday. That way we can flip Rhea after that, and we can start working on other programs at that point. But from there, tomorrow, I've decided to move the MLB stream to Sunday, so we're going to do a little Tears of the Kingdom tomorrow to make up for Monday's stream. We're just about to get to the first boss, so I'll be on probably about 3 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Mountain. And then Saturday, we'll be here for AEW Collision, followed by Week 13, like I mentioned. Sunday night, we'll be doing MLB The Show 24. There are 2 new Conquest maps and a whole new program starting Friday. So we'll check out what they have to offer us. MLB The Show will probably be at least till the end of the month, our featured sports game that we do in part of our rotation, usually on Thursday afternoons. But like I said, this week we're all over the place here a little bit. Monday we'll be back to normal with Tears of the Kingdom on Monday. AEW on Wednesday, sports on Thursday, AEW Saturday. Then maybe the odd bonus stream. So really been enjoying MLB 24. I've been finding the level a lot harder than it was last year, to be honest. I had it on, I have it on All-Star mode typically, and I'm just not getting the hits I used to from last year. So we got 13 minutes left, so we'll see how this goes. And Joe's bringing the chain. Looking over his shoulder. And you can see him hobbling like that. I love his storytelling. I just retweeted something from Sean Ross Sapp, which I think is a very good idea. Basically, he's talking about the footage of that. They're just showing why a rematch is justified on this end and why we need to have this fourth match. Joe is a massive amount of the man. Yeah, he was formerly at NXT. His most of his work was done in Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. One of his biggest feuds, his biggest enemies were AJ Styles, Kurt Angle. The time that he got a chance to work with Brock Lesnar, though, that was absolutely phenomenal. And the one thing about Joe more than anything, he is such a great seller of stuff here. He knows how to put over a situation, put over a match, put over someone. And then Dustin, like you said, there's formerly known as Goldust in WWE, has really changed his character up. Especially after some work at Impact, which I don't think anybody wants to remember. Basically, if you go to a convention and Dustin's there and you mention 7, you pretty much get banned from the building. It was a very dark gimmick that reeked of child molestation. So we just, no. I just want to tweet there. Yeah, I remembered him as Goldust. Yeah, like he had 2 different stints as Goldust. He was really androgynous the first time around. It was a little more mainstream during the Ruthless Aggression era when he came back. I think the biggest put-over point for him was when he Triple H ended up setting him through an electrical box and he developed a stuttering gimmick after. So him and Booker T would work together, and some of the stutters that would come out would be absolutely phenomenal. But if you really want to see what Dustin's done, and you can actually find this on YouTube, look up the All In show from the original All In from way back in 2019, the one that Mercedes was talking about in her interview. AEW has it available on their YouTube channel for free. It was Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. Or sorry. That would have been the second All In, so you have to find it somewhere. The first All In had Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship at that show, so. I love so many of these. So much of their response on the internet is just hilarious. Your typical, I don't want to say typical WWE supporters. That's the story here, Jake. Dustin is known like he's on his last run right now. He's in his 50s. He's always been known as the good head, the good guy, but nobody actually even thinks that he has a real run behind him. Yeah, Samoa Joe's here to rip him apart, but he's supposed to be... Dustin is a master of showing you that he has one last chance to get things back up and going here, so... Atomic drop off the ropes. Typical Samoa Joe work here. Like, it would be great to see Swerve come out here just to interfere on and allow Dustin to get the victory here. Yeah, I believe the Dusty versus Cody match was the original Double or Nothing. But what I was saying earlier, oh, now the ads decide to show up. What I hope comes out of this tonight overall, as we're sitting in the double down spot here, what I really do hope more gets made of Will Ospreay's comments than the Bucks. Because frankly, I think Ospreay's words have a little bit more oomph behind them than what the Bucks did. What the Bucks did was sort of expected and didn't have the impact that they thought it would. Ospreay coming out of nowhere. Oh yeah, Jake, he bleeds like this all the time. God, do I love a code red out of Dustin here. And he doesn't go for Ted. Dustin stepping up for Mox, yeah. Well, Mox has been killing it in Mexico and in Japan. Like, Mox is on this Saturday with Windy City Riots, so... But yeah, I would totally say that, we got... Like, Mox is killing it. Just imagine Mox isn't anywhere near this card right now. And he's probably not going to be at Dynasty. Is he seriously... Oh, I know what he's doing. This is so smart. He's not going to... I can see what's coming right now. Oh, I thought he was going to have their belt to the referee to get rid of it, and then... Oh my God, that belt won the world title on Sunday! But yeah, this is... But once again, like I said, I just hope Ospreay's words get out there more than... Oh, Jesus. I hope Ospreay's doesn't get washed away in the buck of the mire here. There's a blood price to be paid? Well, what do you expect? Oh, that's amazing. That was amazing. You had to know the belt was going to get involved somehow here. Is the Crossroads his signature? No, but he's sort of... Since he's his brothers, he does do it as an homage to his brother. His finish is usually the curtain call, which is basically like a reverse DDT slash suplex kind of thing. And there's Swerve with the house call. And the ref's just like, no, I'm out. What do you want me to do about it? I almost feel that they're going to need to make this a chain match at the pay-per-view. Chain on a pole, maybe? Would you like to see Dustin get some gold before he hangs? I would love to. Even if it's a TNT title. Yeah, you never know. Maybe a chain on the pole. Look at Prince Nana looking at that thing. Sorry, you ain't getting no dance tonight out of that. Betty regrets breathing. That's where the whole story's coming from. That chain is what Samoa Joe, or sorry, that's what Swerve used to choke out Hangman Page in a very big blood feud that got very dangerous. They ended up using what was it? It was a home invasion angle. Basically where Swerve was standing over the crib of Hangman Page's kid. And it got to that violent level where one thing you'll notice about AEW when they go to their pay-per-view, if you get a death match or you get a hardcore match out of them, it will be bloody, it will be violent. And that's something that AEW is well known for now. Like when they're going to bring their violence, they're going to bring their violence to the one end. I think the only time they haven't was due to a technical gaffe. The infamous barbed wire rig, bloody... There was a countdown timer, explosions between Mox and Kenny Omega. I think that was probably the worst faux pas ever in AEW. But all in all tonight, once again, another solid card. And like you had Mariah May, Anna Jay was an absolutely great match. Dustin and Joe was fun. You had that opening match with Penta and Copeland, which turned out to be absolutely fantastic. That 6-man tag even, there was some story in it, so at least it's passable. But, yeah, I think the biggest talking point today is both of those promo segments with... the Young Bucks and as well with Will Ospreay here. So, yeah, Jake, as you move forward here, you'll notice a different vibe on Saturday where it's a little more old school wrestling styles as you see on Collision here. But I got a feeling next Wednesday is going to be a little more wrestling heavy than it is today. Now that they got past this this little expose with CM Punk and getting that out of the way, setting up their tag match, and the amount of promos that we get are going to be actually quite a bit less going into the next week, I think. If not next week, then definitely after the pay-per-view. Because next Wednesday is the Go Home Dynamite 2 Dynasty, so we're going to get a pretty good lineup, figure out the final pieces to the lineup of the pay-per-view. And the one thing about AEW pay-per-views, they have a lot of matches, so we still have a lot to schedule here, but